In October of 2013, a revolutionary level would be released in Geometry Dash. Demon Park, with a level ID of just over 10,000, would be rated as the first demon level in the game, and it would become the inspiration for the title Demon levels. In the coming years, the hardest levels would ramp up in difficulty tremendously, but with the game having such a small community at this point, no level rose to a legendary status until late 2014, when popular creator G-Boy would post a level preview on YouTube for the first time. This level would eventually become Geometry Dash's first final boss. For a level to be considered a final boss of Geometry Dash, there are a few requirements that I have. First, it must have been the hardest level in the game at the time, whether it was top 1 on the demons list or just well known as the hardest level in the game. The level also needs to have had a lot of hype around it for being incredibly difficult or even viewed as impossible. The level needs to have also been an extreme challenge for the verifier and or the first victor. This part's optional, I guess, but I think it's really important for these final boss levels to really revolutionize or inspire a lot of future levels in the game. This 30-second video was G-Boy's first preview of his new untitled level. Besides some decoration and gameplay right at the beginning with the cube, there was no actual gameplay besides just some blank portals like a ship, a ball, and a wave. The song used was At the Speed of Light by DimRain47, a song that was not too popular in the game at this point, only being used in 2 rated levels. Now there was a little bit of controversy here with this preview. In a few parts, the level looked very similar to a level by Wreckage called Nitronic Freedom. This was asked in the comments and G-Boy confirmed it. Now there were some negative or hating comments about G-Boy stealing this design from Wreckage, so he confirmed it in the description that Wreckage thought it was fine. The level looked very basic at this point and honestly not too hard. With this first preview, the community was really just unsure what this level would actually become. G-Boy would post another preview showing the iconic first wave part, fully built and decorated. This finally proved how hard this level was really going to be. Prominent community figures such as Etzer and Alex Payne would comment on this video, adding more hype to it and showing how it was slowly but surely becoming more popular. The most significant thing of all, though, was that this preview came with an official name for the level: Cataclysm. About 2 weeks later, G-Boy would post the third preview, showing the parts right after the first wave. This now showcased the first 20 to 30% of the level. It was really filling out in terms of difficulty, and it was looking extreme. WeoWeoTio, a popular creator, commented and asked, "But can you verify it?" This is one of the first extreme demon levels that was thoroughly previewed beforehand. As with Roadboss's Ice Karma Diablo X, it was just randomly released in its extreme state. But this was the first extreme level that was anticipated beforehand, and it had the potential to be the hardest level in the game. The last video he'd post before the verification process began was a 4th preview. This showed the parts leading up to the piano part in the song, and this is really where the level began to take shape. About half of the level was shown now, and the comments were all freaking out about how hard it looked. The real question at this point was whether or not G-Boy would actually be able to verify this extreme level. After supposedly spending over 80,000 attempts trying to verify Cataclysm, G-Boy was unsuccessful, and instead of pushing on forward or nerfing the level, he verify hacked it and uploaded the level on January 3rd of 2015. Now the thing is, G-Boy didn't confess that he hacked the level. He didn't even include a video of it, he just posted the level straight up. It wouldn't be for over 2 months until he would actually admit that he hacked the level. Now with Cataclysm finally being released, it was assumed to have been verified legit since G-Boy was a well-known creator at the time. The level was rated and the race was on to see who could be the first victor of Cataclysm. There was so much hype over this level, and at the time, this was viewed as a true final boss of the game. Whoever beat it first would surely see themselves being deemed the best player in the game. Only a few weeks after the level was uploaded, the first video of significant Cataclysm progress was posted. On January 18th of 2015, ZoroZ posted a video of 49% on Cataclysm, which was the world record at the time. At this point, no one had even made it past where G-Boy's previews left off, so the last 40% to 50% of the level was really just unknown to the majority of players. At this point, there were actually a lot of comments that were supporting ZoroZ and very few accusations. On February 15th, about a month after his 49% video, ZoroZ posted his completion of Cataclysm, the first ever 100% run of the level, on YouTube. Comments were very 50-50 at this point. There were a lot of comments in support, but also a lot of skeptical ones about certain things, such as the orb and wave pulses. Normally when you play a level, the orb and waves pulse to the music, but in ZoroZet's video, later on into the level, there was no pulse whatsoever. People weren't quite sure at the beginning whether or not this video was hacked, and some people had some really bad takes. For reference, Nubis was exposed for hacking for the exact same thing. About 2 weeks later, another victor came out, Lyra Bandicoot, whose Cataclysm video was one of the first Geometry Dash videos I ever remember watching. For some reason, this video popped off way more than ZoroZet's video, and I think it was for one big reason. This video had an intro that's very reminiscent of the verification or extreme demon completion videos we see today. After claiming over 20,000 attempts were spent on the level, this intro made the video appear to be way more legit than just ZoroZet's completion video with only 1,000 attempts being spent. Around this time, it was very obvious to the community that both ZoroZet and Lyra Bandicoot hacked the level. This invalidated both of their titles as the first victor, but they both did get some pretty decent popularity out of it. Now, if those two weren't enough, on March 9th, G-Boy would post a video showing off a challenge level he made with this description: "No, there will be no Cataclysm video as the level was made only for it to replace ICDX, and I do not want to gain a huge amount of likes, dislikes, or subscribers from a level I only created. And yes, this means Cataclysm ain't legit, so sorry for those that I lied to, hope you understand, I just made it to give the players a good looking challenge. Not for fame, that is why there is no video of Cataclysm by me. I understand most of you will unsub and so forth, and dislike all of my videos, etc. But hope the most of you will stay. G-Boy." G-Boy didn't verify Cataclysm legit, and the community finally knew officially. This totally disrupted the legitimacy of the level as a whole. With the verifier and the first two victors all being exposed as cheaters, the community believed the level may not actually be possible. That is, until legitimate progress began to be made. On April 28th, this is what the Cataclysm records looked like. Sandstorm was ahead at 71%, Zephyr at 57%, and Cyclic at 50%. This was almost 4 months after the level had come out. However, on that same day, April 28th, history was made. Cyclic, a skilled South Korean player, had finally done it. This completion broke the Geometry Dash community. For the first time, Cataclysm was universally beaten legit. Since Cyclic was pretty well known at the time and streamed a lot of his completions, no one second guessed this completion at all. Especially because, unlike the first two hackers, there were no pulse issues in Cyclic's recordings. For the first time, someone completed Cataclysm legit. A level that the community believed was impossible for just about 4 months at this point, but it had finally been complete. Cyclic's channel blew up from this. He gained thousands and thousands of subscribers, and he was launched into the position as the best player in the game, officially granting him the status as a legend. 2 weeks after this, on May 14th, Cataclysm had its second victor, Giron or Giron David. Completed it on stream in over 31,000 attempts. Unfortunately, since he wasn't the first, didn't nearly receive the legend status that Cyclic did, but it was a good first push for him to get more recognition in the community. The completions began to ramp up after this, with a bit of a race going on between two very skilled players to see who could be the third one to complete Cataclysm. These two players were Riot and Sandstorm. Surprisingly, on May 20th, the two beat the level on the same day, just hours apart. There's very conflicting reports online about who actually beat it first, with some websites and videos saying it was Sandstorm and some saying it was Riot. So I reached out to the source itself, DM'd Riot, and this is what he said. So according to Riot, Sandstorm was the third victor of Cataclysm, and Riot, just hours apart, was the fourth. But Riot's Cataclysm reaction is still one of the most iconic reactions in the game's history. With both of these players spending 32,000 attempts on the level, the two cemented themselves in the game's Hall of Fame with their on-stream completions. The story of Cataclysm was mostly told at this point, from the verification controversy to the two very obviously hacked victors, to the official first 4 victors of the level. Wait, what is this? Cyclic hacked? On March 6th of 2016, about 10 months after he beat Cataclysm, Cyclic confessed that he had hacked everything. In a DM to Riot on Skype, Cyclic admitted to hacking or cutting all of his extreme level completions, as well as pre-recording all of his streams. This was the end for Cyclic, as he deleted his channel, Skype, and everything. The community at this time didn't know what to do. For the top players who had been competing against Cyclic for almost a year at this point, it was devastating. In the words of Riot himself,
This actually changes everything. No, it cannot be real. I've been competing with a hacker the whole time.
This confession by Cyclic meant that the first true victor and technically the verifier of Cataclysm was Giron. It's really sad actually how he was so overlooked in this situation. He was the first person to beat Cataclysm, debatably the first Geometry Dash level to be defined as a final boss, yet he was overshadowed by Cyclic. Cyclic received tens of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands of views, and the recognition and community consensus as the best player in the game. Giron deserved this, and it's devastating that he didn't get this title that he so very deserved. Now once again, surprisingly, this isn't the end of Cataclysm's history. While I'd say it is the end of its reign as the final boss in the game at this point, Cataclysm was hit with an update on January 14th of 2016, just over a year after it was first uploaded to the servers. This included a few buffs, minor decoration changes, the addition of user coins, and a Hall of Fame section at the end, crediting the first 14 victors of the level. As you can see, Cyclic is on here, as this was just 2 months before he would end up being exposed. Cataclysm was a revolutionary level for many reasons. It was the first extreme demon that combined both insane difficulty and incredible design, and it set the community ablaze to see who would be the first victor. Players were showered with support for beating this level, and it remains today as one of the most influential levels in the game's history, inspiring its successor Bloodbath, and it still stands as one of the most popular demon levels today, with over 30 million downloads and over 1 million likes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another one, perhaps one on Bloodbath, the second final boss, make sure you leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.